back to the bottom, 6 to go.
Makes a mistake again. He missed the shift. He's going to spin to the inside turn. He's going to take the lead.
Eli Hinton just got used up there in the hairpin. He's going to pick up a win after a long winless streak in Victory Lane. And the whole field just needs to get himself slowed down hot these curves. Up and over. There's that cannon running a tad wide. Great restart here for the 2 car, but also for the 48. He crosses him over. Down into turn 1. There goes the tail. Here comes the 20 alongside. The 13 car gets turned. He's going to spin in turn 2.
The month of May in stock car races means a trip back home to Charlotte, North Carolina, and usually that means the Oval for 2 weeks, the NASCAR All-Star Race, and then the Coke 600. But this time we head to the infield road course at the Charlotte ROVAL, a challenging and tricky over 2-mile road course in the middle of one of the most famous ovals in American stock car racing. Hello and welcome to Sim TV. My name is Kyle Heyer alongside Vinny Nakuna. And there's 9 drivers remaining in the Fuel Finals this season after eliminating the 28 of Timothy Johnston last week at Rockingham Speedway. And now we head into tonight's event, a 55-lap feature race, where the only goal really is survival here, Finian. So Scott Eckridge still maintains his lead atop the point standings. But as we head down to the racetrack, I wanted to take a good look at the number 24 of Thomas Bressi, and he has just gone to the top of the board and has pulled in the pits. Looks like he's satisfied with his qualifying time, Finian, but he's going to be the one to beat tonight. Here's Travis McQuistion, the number 93, working his way down the back straightaway and through that dreaded back straightaway chicane. And for that reason, it's one of the trickiest corners in all of racing.
Yeah, the bus stop is going to be definitely the hardest corner tonight to just not necessarily get through, but get through with traffic. Because if one driver on the top of the order messes up, makes a mistake, it's going to stack up everyone else going through there. So we could potentially see a big wreck. Although there's a chance that everyone could still survive. But again, it's a very fairly long race, 55 laps that these guys got to survive around here. And I can imagine the attrition rate is going to be through the roof.
That other chicane here, turn 17, that's also a very challenging corner. Those big, tall turtle curbs, as some would like to call them, are really challenging. You have to hit them just right to make speed. There goes Anthony Navarro to start his flying lap. We'll take you on board a lap of the Charlotte ROVALs. We head through turns 2 and 3. We head down here to the next corner. And there's no track map here. I forgot it's a brand new racetrack here with iRacing. Turn 4 leads up towards turn 5 and 6, a dual right-hander, and this is where you use all the racetrack right to where that colored pavement starts. You dip off to the right and then head up a hill. There's some pretty significant, over 20 feet of elevation change here through the infield. Swing back for turns 6 and 7, and then turn number 8 before you climb the banks for Charlotte turns 9 and 10. Real close to that wall, and then you launch yourself onto the long back straightaway. Then you head down towards that dreaded back straightaway chicane, where you downshift from 4th to 3rd fitting, and it's just threading the needle right here.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you hit that line right.
Navarro takes a big chunk of curb, and that might invalidate this lap. That car is looking pretty torn up there on that left front. So Thomas Bressi currently sits atop the board right now with a 111.9. That's the quickest lap time I've ever seen around here. If we take a look at the conditions tonight, 104 degrees on the track, so it's not cool either. So that 24 car of Bressi flying around here, but the one he's probably going to have to beat tonight is Scott Eckridge in that number 70, creeping around the racetrack fitting, maybe preserving the tires for one quick hot lap.
Say that, maybe also just waiting for some cloud cover or something come over to get the track cooled down just a little bit, get a better time in.
Eckridge is leading the point standings by a huge amount, so he's really not in danger of going anywhere. The driver that is in danger of being eliminated, Finian, is the 21 of Nick Kohan, who will no longer be competing, at least for the foreseeable future here in the Fuel Finals. So will essentially be eliminated after tonight. We're not going to call that officially until the race is over, but so far it's going to be the 28 of Timothy Johnston and the 21 of Nick Kohan that will be eliminated. But everyone else should be safe as Scott Eckridge comes on through to start his lap, and he heads through turn 16 and 17 to get a run up here. Kept those tires cool. Now he heads down into turn number 1. So a 55-lap event tonight. It's not necessarily a short race by any stretch of the imagination, but we will cap out at 1 hour and 35 minutes if we need to. There is potential for a yellow flag if one's necessary, but we only have about 22 cars here tonight. I don't think we'll see one of those.
Yeah, the only really chance that we're going to see a yellow flag is on the initial start. I think after, if we get through lap 1, I think the chance of seeing caution is going to be very low for the rest of the night.
Is this racetrack the most difficult one of the year? I would venture to say that it is.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. It's up there, one of the hardest road courses I think to navigate. For a lot of people, really just with the partly with the car itself. I mean, stock cars are not necessarily the most road-going vehicles on the service. So, and then you put them at a tight, twisty track like this. I mean, it's pretty much like having them on a street course. It's so tight in some sections, and then you have this bust up here, which really is
he nailed it. Scott Eckridge did.
Yeah, and he's been, I believe he was the fastest car in practice.
Yes.
So, I'm really interested in seeing what time he's going to put down here.
Comes on through turn 16 and 17. You got to bounce over the curbs just right. 16, 17, right back on the throttle. Gets loose at the exit, gets across the line. Where does he jump to? Pole for Scott Eckridge.
By quite a bit, too. 3/10 of a second.
Yeah, 3/10 of a second. A 1:11.664 to Thomas Bressy's 1:11.990. So, even though this is really Bressy's race to lose, Scott Eckridge is going to solidly put himself in front of the 24, so it might have to be a strategy race for that Bressy car to get out in front of him, but it looks like Eckridge is going to take that lap and run with it. John Rodden out on course right now on, it looks like his second lap. He's going to tiptoe through here.
I don't think he's going to, well, is he on a lap right now?
No, he's not. I guess you can't, my headphones have been fighting me. The cord's crappy at this point, so...
Yeah, but if he hasn't started his lap, he's definitely not going to have enough time to make it back around. We've got 45 seconds, so here he comes across the line.
It looks like he'll put another time. It was slower. It was a 1:20.066 that time, so no improvement for John Rodden. And
interestingly, though, Greg Evans did not put down a qualifying time.
Yeah, honestly, it's... At a racetrack like this, it's not a terrible idea, because it's long enough that you can play a strategy. You just got to be careful not to get caught up in somebody else's mess. But it can avoid the first lap catastrophe if you can just stay behind it all. So we'll see how Greg Evans battles this one. Not in danger of elimination, but he's got a lot of ground to make up on Scott Eckridge.
The only reason I'm worried is that he's kind of he's pretty much going to be starting in the middle of the field. So he's going to be in the middle of everything. And hopefully that's not a bad thing for him. Hopefully everyone gets through.
Again, relatively small field size, so I'm not predicting a big mess tonight, but we never know how things are going to work out. Look at that view of Charlotte Motor Speedway from up above as we get ready to go racing here tonight. 55 laps, like I mentioned, and thank God we're not using that real twisty section in the middle. That would be absolute disaster with these cars. It's already bad enough with what we got. This is one of my favorite racetracks. I think it's extremely rewarding to hit a lap around here. Last week, the Fuel SimTV Super Truck Series was at this racetrack, and I won that race, so I'm a pretty big fan of this racetrack. But now the Cup Series heads here. And another driver to watch out for tonight is Zach Buchanan. He'll be starting right up near the front in that number 40 and road course specialist. And also Jeff Ward was second in practice, so he's got a quick car as well. He'll be starting from the 5th spot here tonight. Tabarro starting up in 6th, but we're getting ready to go racing, and we take a look again at our track conditions, and the track temperature has been falling a little bit. It's not hot enough to really make this track all that slick, but if you burn your tires up, that's the single biggest influence on how these cars will drive. If you burn your stuff up, you're going to be feeling it. If you're gentle on your car, you'll have a car for a lot longer in the run.
Yeah, especially because these cars got a lot of oomph to them as well. So if you start to wear out your tires and you try to get back on the gas, you're going to be spinning your tires and sliding all over the place. And I think we're definitely going to see a lot of the guys do that once we get towards the end of the runs.
Tyler Hensley in the 44, starting a couple spots back. I think it's P9 over there, that number 44 discount tire car, McQuistion. And how about Don Runkle Jr., by the way? He's got Mission 22 on this car here this week, so first you want to help that cause, you can go to the Mission 22 website. I don't have the link available right here, but Google's a wonderful thing, so if you guys want to go help out that cause, please do so, but try to get a better look at it here. Oh, there you go. There's a phone number right there. 615-645-451. So it's lining up. Hopefully, it's got a nice carbon fiber look on that thing as well. And Don has survived longer than I think even he thought in the chase for the fuel final so far. So I think he's really happy with how it's gone.
I was going to say, and from the looks of it, as long as everyone, as long as all the finalists besides Kohan just take the green flag, they should have enough points to overtake. And we'll check again at the end once the points get updated. But looking pretty good for really, as far as eliminations, I think all the drivers here tonight are going to be safe for the most part.
How about Thomas George, number 9? Not a superb qualifying effort by him. I don't think that he was really excited for this one necessarily, but as he gets rolling, you see those curves, how violent those are. So you have to stay off of those if you want to avoid getting yourself into a mess, but you do want to use them if you want to be fast. They're definitely one of those features, just like Watkins Glen, where if you're not on the curbs, you're not doing a fast lap. So you'll see Eckrich and the 24 Bresci on them all day long, but even the best can make a mistake here. And it just takes one little slip up. Even Scott Eckrich, 50 laps into this thing, could slip just a little bit and hammer one of those curbs in the bus stop. So you don't know who's going to win this race, even with one lap to go. It's always up in the air. We expect to see a lot of single car incidents tonight, and a lot of very hard impacts as well.
Yeah, and I think also, too, another thing we have to talk about is the starts for these races. We don't bypass the chicane like they do in NASCAR, unfortunately, due to the well, it's limitations of the software, but just they just didn't. I don't think they implemented it.
Yeah,
I think they probably could.
It's not anything that's a limitation. They just didn't do it.
They just didn't really do it. Is the fact that you have to take the chicane on the start. The leaders are going to be in the middle of the front stretch chicane when we get the green flag, and everyone's going to have to navigate through. So. Could potentially see someone cause that incident there.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky, though, the starts here. I almost think that they help because it makes the field spread out a little bit. But it really depends. You see the 55 way down on the apron. That is Brian Yazek. And I'm not sure went all the way down there, but he'll have to get back on the racetrack here in a minute.
Saving fuel, I guess?
Well, you never know. I mean, 55 laps, it's going to be a one-stopper, I would think. But it might be a two-stopper. We'll see. So I would assume it's going to be. Well, we never really know the fuel situation, so we'll let them get rolling here and figure it out. So it's the 70 and the 24 on the front row, and again, I think Bresci walked in here expecting to win this race. This is really probably his best track of the whole season, and his best opportunity to get himself into victory lane. So the only car I think he's really got to realistically beat is that bright blue number 70. And again, like I said, one little mistake can take him out. So stay in the fight. You see half the field splitting to go take the chicane, and the other half cutting through that chicane. Now, conveniently, you can skip that one on the pace lap.
Yep.
That's why I'm saying it's not limitation. They're just lazy. All right, Finian. 55 laps in the Charlotte ROVAL, and the guys up front here, these top two. You can probably say you can throw Zach Buchanan in this mix. Their goal is to win the race. From there on back, it's just to make it to the end of the race. And to finish first, you must first finish, and that's how these guys are going to attack this one tonight. 17 corners around this 2.5-mile racetrack. 0.2-mile racetrack. That. Pace car pulls off, leaving the field in the hands of Eckrich, and he wasted no time at all. Green flag flies, and we're racing at the ROVAL.
I'm surprised Bresci actually waited so long to get on the gas. He already gave Eckrich a little bit of a lead. Green flag out in the air. You already see most of the field spread out, and here you see some guys struggling to get up to speed here.
Big jump over the top of the curb for Wilco, and it looks like he's got himself a slowdown penalty out of the gate already. As we head back up through the field here to see if we've all made it through the first turn. Looks like we have as we jump towards the front of the field. It's Eckrich and Bresci, and I think Bresci got caught off guard there. Eckrich just took off. I think usually people wait till the exit of the chicane to launch, but he just went for it.
Yeah, because usually people wait and try to angle their car in the chicane, then get on the gas for the leaders. I think that caught off a bit off, but he actually made up quite a bit of time back on Eckrich while the tires are still getting warmed up.
Ron Rodden and Brian Green fighting back here. This is for 14th place. Now we're going to head back up to the front to watch them navigate this chicane for the first time. It is so treacherous, Vinny. I don't know of anybody that really actually likes this chicane. Some of them will tolerate it, but as we head down here, look at how scary this is going to get right through here. Don't make any mistakes, and following cars is so hard to do through here. Yazek hits the curb.
Yeah, Buchanan and Yazek both took the curb the exit curb especially very hard.
Oh, wow. The car took a really big chunk of curb.
Oh, and Yazek is spun out.
Yazek loses it over the curbs, and we saw him as he comes in here that he hit the curb, and we know how treacherous this is, and this is honestly the best scenario that can happen if you get yourself spun out.
Ooh.
Did a great job not hitting anything else, but he'll carry on back in 14th place, so not where he wanted to be. Casey Shue and Travis McQuistion going at it for 7th. 93 is going to try to take that spot away.
And he's going to be stuck on the right side there. He's going to be able to clear ahead of Tyler Hensley, so he'll hold on to 8th place for now.
Here's Greg Evans in the 46, and you mentioned him not qualifying well. He's P10 right now, and maybe the goal for tonight is just survive and don't lose any points. He's a driver that's relatively close to where that cut line is going to reach next week, so he's got to be careful. He cannot walk out of this night with a bad finish. He wants to climb up his way through the standings, and honestly, a fine finish is all he needs tonight. Yeah, I mean, don't make your night bad.
Yeah, pretty much the name of the game is, you know, just making sure that you finish ahead of your competitors here, and I'm sure that's what he's going to try to do.
Right on board here, you can see how little they can really see, and he has to back off just to get some sight lines. And oh man, Question slipped up in front of him. There's Hensley going to the inside of Casey's shoe.
Yeah, and also, you're saying with the sight lines, yeah, it's very hard to go through that chicane when you're right in behind someone. It's hard to get a picture of where you need a brake. And sometimes you can just end up plowing right through them or just missing your braking zone completely.
Okay, so let's check back up front to see how our leader is doing, and he has not been able to pull away from Thomas Bressi, so Eckert is able to run one quick lap, but I think Bressi's probably going to be able to be quicker over the course in the long run with that more road course experience. I think he'll be able to save more, but just keep an eye on this 24. I think we're coming for the lead here in a second.
Yeah, I mean, also, these guys have come out to a fantastically, even throw Buchanan in there. The top three are broken away as 89 of just 4 seconds back already.
The car looks like John Runkle's gone for a loop in that 0-0. Go back and take a look at it. This is down entering turn 3 and 4. He's behind the 0-6 of Brian Green. Just got loose under the brakes. Maybe a bad downshift here, but almost had it saved and just, oh, he did save it. Just a really slow, lazy spin there.
Good job to keep that under control.
Here we come for the lead. Here comes Thomas Bressi in that 24. This is his race to lose, and he's making sure Scott Eckridge knows that. Taking a look down to the inside, right on the bumper through the chicane.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was curious if he was actually going to give him the bump. I was going to say it's lap 3 or only. So Bressi's going to hold on for now. But yeah, that 24 looks really fast here. It's just a matter of getting around that 70. That's going to be the problem.
And I'm sure he's going to be really aggressive. I think he spent a lot of the season getting run over. And I think he doesn't want that to happen tonight. I think he wants to be the one running over this evening. He wants to use that chrome horn and get himself right out in front of that 70, who's been dominant all season long. I think he's got double-digit wins at this point. I think he's up to 10 or something crazy like that. Actually, my points font is messed up. We can take a look at the wins. Let's skip ahead here to the front page. That number, and it is, I'm showing 7, but is that correct? That's more. Maybe. I thought it was 10, but okay. Well, I guess that can't be right because this is race like 12. So.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think he only has 10 or 11 starts. So.
Okay, well, that was me being incorrect. All right, so Thomas Bressi lost some ground here on this lap. But I think he's much better through the chicane section, and this is really where you can see that road experience, the slow in, fast out technique. And look at the ground he gains through these final couple of corners, and he gets right on his bumper. He's going to brake a bit early. Watch Eckridge. He's going to charge his way into this corner, and he missed the apex here just a little bit. You kind of have to come in a bit tighter than that. He came in pretty wide, but ended up getting a decent run out of the corner. So Bressy's still chasing him down, but he does have the quicker laps. And Jeff Ward, he's got some big damage on that car.
Yeah, he's had something happen to him because he's dropped back quite a few spots.
And we'll take a look at that in just a second once these guys get through here.
And Yazik's going to get ahead of Hensley and sort himself out there.
Yeah, I have a feeling I know where this happened. Oh, no, I don't. Or maybe this was the previous lap.
Yeah, where?
Must have been, this is right here. Okay, so he is already, this is the last lap heading down into the chicane. He had trouble through here, hits the curb, and clips the wall. Pretty heavy contact there. And I think he had more issues heading down to the final chicane, so we'll stay on this replay.
Yeah, and it was actually interesting there. The tires hooked on the curbs on the inside, and it didn't let him go, and that just kind of grappled the car around and hooked him.
Yeah, so I think he also was probably trying to recover from this, and I think he slips here as well. That overdrives the curb and slams the right side against the wall. That's big contact for the 89.
Tough break for him. Like, I mean, I can't imagine that handling is any good at the moment, but he's going to try to catch Thomas George ahead of him.
Here's John Rodman, Gail Brooks, and Calvin Filarski riding in line here. The brightly colored Taco Town number 7142. I've never heard of that company before, but now I have. Sponsorship.
Sounds like one of those fake restaurants you hear in a video game, but...
Oh boy. Yes, it does. Sounds like a GTA.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of, so I don't know.
Here is Filarski and Christopher Matthews, who had a kind of shot out of the cannon when he first joined the series, was running really well. He's had some great finishes, but tonight this looks like one he wasn't really looking forward to, riding in 17th place right now.
He's having a solid run in 17th, although I imagine he would like to be a little bit further up the order.
Thomas Bressy's lost some ground.
And has some...
it does have some right front.
Yeah.
I'm going to imagine that this is probably the chicane. Yeah, I'm gonna run on a limb here. Actually, this is previous. This might have been coming out of the infield area here.
Oh, no, just hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big miscalculation there. That is relatively significant damage. How about Zach Buchanan, though, running third right now? This is a great run for the 40 team.
And look at the deltas there on the side of the screen. Leaders within 3 seconds of each other, and then fourth 15 seconds back.
Yeah, I think we knew this coming in, that the gaps would be pretty large. Just don't know if we saw them being that large.
Yeah, already
Bressy's
on lap
slow
6.
in the final chicane. I think he cut that and had to give it some more time.
Yeah, and I think that damage is really going to kill him right now. He's already lost 2 seconds to Eckrich. And I think might lose some more time here to Buchanan. I think Buchanan might end up getting around him.
Well, the silver lining is that this can happen to anybody, including Scott Eckrich. I don't care how talented you are. I'm a road course racer. I love racing this track. I still make mistakes all the time here. But the only problem is if Eckrich gets way out up front, he doesn't need to push at all. I think he needs someone pushing. Zach Buchanan is running in third right now, but I just don't actually. He has run a quicker lap than Eckrich.
Yeah, so he has the potential to. I just don't think he's been running as quickly consistently. I think that's currently his problem. Although, again, still having a fantastic day inside the top 3.
Yo, going around. That's Calvin Filarski in the 39. He's been in the wall down in turn number 1. I see some sparks up the road. I don't know if anybody else got involved in anything.
I think someone just hit the curb.
Well, let's go back and take a look at what happened to Filarski. And I think this is on the exit of turn 1, maybe just throttling up a bit too soon.
Yep, yeah, you can see the car bouncing.
Ooh. That's a pretty decent hit to that front suspension, and I think steering looks relatively straight, but it's not what you want to be doing to your race car.
Yeah, no, and really that short shoe between turns 1 and 2.
Oh, Bressy. Oh, no, never mind. That was Evan Adams in pit lane here, Finian. Bressy jumped down the order, but it's just because of the 59 resetting. And this car's been destroyed for a couple laps, but just struggling out here. I think just called it a night.
Yeah, tough break for Evan Adams. He's going to have to, as you see, call it a night early, but you saw Scott Eckrich off to a pretty good lead so far, and Yazek still trying to recover after what happened to him earlier. He's been able to crack back inside the top 10. He's in 9th, trying to get 8th away from Kyle Hensley.
Hensley's got a bit of damage as well. I don't think any of these cars are going to make it through this night without some kind of damage.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty slight splitter bulge there. I think that was probably just from jumping those curbs over in the bus stop chicane there, which is going to happen all night.
Yeah, I mean, really, again, like I said earlier in the race, before the race started, that it's like a street course.
Try that again.
It's like a street course because the walls are so close to track, especially in the infield section. So it's very easy for guys to hit the wall, and also the curbs too, because I mean the curbs will do quite a bit of damage to the car if you hit them the wrong way.
I think it's misleading how tall these really are. They're about 6 inches high, and if you hit them, you're not hitting them on the tires. You're hitting them with the frame rails of the race car. And they can flip your car over if you hit them wrong. You see people just balancing through here. Look at Ward. He was really close there.
Took that violently.
But I mean, that's what you have to do to be quick. There's a very fine line between being fast and destroying your car. So here's Brian Green and Christopher Matthews making their way on through, and Green's got some right front crumple as well. And it looks like that 92 has made up a couple spots. He's going to go around the outside. He's also got some damage of his own.
He's going to back out of there. It's a hard place trying to make a pass on the right side.
These cars are just so clumsy around here, and it's hard to make them look graceful. Here's Thomas George and Casey Shue. Nine of George is one of these Fuel Finals drivers just looking to have a decent night tonight. And Tim Silliman did not start this race, Finian.
Yeah,
so
I was going to mention that at some point, so I am not sure how the points are going to be awarded for him.
He should be fine, I would assume, but I'm not, because he was higher up than, was he higher than Kohan? I think he was prior to tonight's event.
By 3 points. So,
oh boy. Well, the thing is, I don't know, because I don't think Cohen's intentions were to continue racing, so I'm not sure if that's going to change how the administrators handle the final situation, because it doesn't make sense to kick a driver out that's still running in the series. So we're not going to say anything official till we know for sure. There's McQuistion slipping and sliding up over the top of the curbs. I will mention one thing, though, is after that struggled at the 24, had a few laps to go. Scott Eckrich, he was up to a 3.5-second lead, but looks like Bressy's actually reeled him back in some to 2.9. So
Yeah, and
24 still got some speed.
Yeah, I think he was able to also adjust to that damage, because once you have damage to your car, kind of to figure out how to drive it with the damage that you have on it, figure out the handling. So looks like he's back on a climb up towards, yeah, now 2.5 seconds the gap.
Casey Shu has gotten around Thomas George for 11th on the racetrack. Let's head up to Travis McQuistion, Tyler Hensley. These guys battling for 7th.
Hensley getting really close to McQuistion's bumper here.
Heard him wheel spin as he crested the hill here. And it's just so much understeer trying to get this car back onto the oval section, and you can hear the tires skipping across. You're just trying to get that thing to rotate, but it's all you have to balance it with the brakes. I think that's you have to drive this car with the middle pedal. I think the good guys that are way up at the front, Eckrich, Bressy, Buchanan, that have experience on the road course side of things, they'll be doing that all night. Look at that! Ooh, Hensley bunny hopped over the curbs on exit. He's trying to carry speed.
Lucky he hit it that way, otherwise he could have easily gone into the wall there. So he's got to run, but again, got Gazik right behind him.
And running in 5th at the moment. There's Greg Evans, who's found his way up into 6th, and then those 3 cars we were just watching, and Jeff Ward back in this mess.
Hensley now to the inside of McQuistion. I think he's going to win this fight, and here comes Gazik in as well.
The blimp is on the other side of the racetrack. No, it's not where I need it right now. 54, 55, 93 in that order. Great battle for 7th on the racetrack. As we have just reached the 5th point of the 20% mark of this race. We're both having a lot of trouble speaking tonight. I don't know if you were taking a nap before, I was just out of it before, but we're really struggling.
Ooh, Yazik loose.
Whoa, wow, he just managed to hang on to that car, but there's even with these cars have 750 horsepower, they have a lot of downforce, but the downforce doesn't do anything about your acceleration capabilities. Yeah. The tires are still going to spin, and you're still going to have a tough time getting power to the ground, and we saw that with the 55 through turn 7.
Okay, well, this particular course, I say these cars might have a little bit too much power, considering how slow you're going in some of the corners.
Oh, Hensley! Did he make it through? He did, but that was awful close. We have to take a look at that again. This is how close it was, folks. This is going to be really close. Oh, man.
Seems like the car is fine, although Yazik was able to get around it. Here comes McQuistion also trying to force the issue.
These guys will probably be trading spots all night long. And McQuistion's going to dive to the inside down in heartburn turn, as they like to call it.
Oh, and yeah, it took a shallow entry there, and he's going to have to give up that fight.
Whoa, McQuistion slipping and sliding. He's still drifting that car. Jeff Ward all over him as they come down through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, Jeff Ward back in 10th place, trying to move up a few more spots here with that damaged car.
Tyler Dolger and Brian Green. Dolger's got some significant damage on the front of that car.
Ooh.
Green loose and almost spun it out, but managed to hang on.
It's an interesting way to take turn 1.
Look at 10 block style. McQuistion and Ward now going at it for 9th. Gonna climb through the banking now and onto the back straightaway. And Finian, you gotta be really gutsy or really rude to make a pass down into the chicane. But when we get down to it, I think the closing laps of this race, you might see people make a move down here, but you cannot go through here too wide. If someone doesn't back out, one of you is going to crash. Probably
or both. Yeah, I was going to say, I think more times than not it would be both. Yeah, pretty much passing in that backshot chicane is like playing chicken. So, Hensley on through with pushing. Looks like that's diffused for now. You see Ward struggling to try to just get the car up and get alongside the 93.
Yeah, he was really quick in practice, and this is definitely falling off the pace for the 89. So let's start thinking about pit stops here, Finian, in a couple laps potentially. Scott Eckrich out up front right now by 2.8 seconds over Thomas Bressy. But Finian, we're 3 seconds off of the pace at the beginning of the race. The tire fall off is insane. A one lap jump on Scott Eckrich will get the 24 the lead. So you have to start thinking about maybe when you want to do that.
Yeah, and here's the thing too with the pit stop. So again, halfway points are awarded for these guys here, and we were talking about it being one stop. So potentially the lead, especially the guys in the playoffs, they might want to wait until that halfway break, get the points, and then come down on pit road.
Wow, look at the right front of the the 40 cars we had down here at turn number 1. You see him actually hurt him getting the wall. He is working those brakes, Finian. That's not something I'm used to seeing at this track, maybe at a track like Bristol, but I'm curious about the leaders now. Scott Eckrich and Thomas Bressy. Let's wait until Scott gets to turn 5 and take a look at his right front. Remember, the more heat you have in the brakes, the more heat you have in your tires. pretty light braking zone here,
Yeah.
so I think we should probably wait till the chicane.
Yeah, I think usually on the speedway section, that's where you're going to have the most, because you really need the brakes to slow these things down. Infield section, you can pretty much get away with just the engine winding down to slow down.
Scrape the wall there just a little bit.
And I imagine he's facing some tight conditions. We're still only about halfway through the run. And back to what I was saying with the halfway points. So these guys are going to get the points awarded after lap 28 due to the odd number of laps. So we might see the playoff guys stay out there a little bit longer. Some of the guys who are not in the playoffs just playing it easy. You see the suspension doing the work through this game.
Yeah, I'd say so. And we'll watch Eckrich and then we'll watch Bressie, but not even a tint of braking heat there for the 70 car. He's coming up on some lap traffic, but nothing for him. How about for the 24? Nothing. So it's interesting to me that Buchanan is this is Buchanan again as we head down to turn number 1. How much more heat Buchanan's been able to generate in these brakes and the 2 liters, and that just shows you different driving styles. They're all 3 are working out pretty dang good. Oh, we got a car spun, and that's who was that? It was
I think
John Rumpel Jr. in the 00 right in front of our leaders.
That actually allowed Buchanan to get on through past Bressie.
Yeah, we have to go on board here with Bressie to see what happened as he came on through. See, right up ahead, it was Rumpel was trying to get around Dulger, and Bressie had to slam the brakes, and he scraped the wall getting around. He lost a lot of ground, but kept the nose on the race car. Buchanan was able to slip on through.
Bressie, I mean, he's found some more speed in that car, so I think he definitely can get past Buchanan again.
Kohan got by DeBarro for 4th, and now look at this, Yazek Evans. This is all a battle for the 4th spot. Take it for 5th now as DeBarro's got that. Greg Evans, who is in 7th after starting about midway through the field. So much patience you have to have on the brakes and on the throttle here.
Amazing how close these guys are compared to the rest of the field. 4th through pretty much 4th through quite a few spots. Through about 8th, they're all within a few seconds of each other.
This is where you got to back out. You have to actually give the lead driver some more space just so you can see what's going on. And whoa, that was tight there. And Evans had to back way off the throttle and lost some more ground to Yazek, who charged on the entry.
Oh, he's making a pass.
And he's going to have a look to the inside of DeBarro through the final couple of corners. Now it's going to be a race to the chicane. Who's going to get there first?
But Yazek is going to play this patient. Greg Evans, though, charging in.
And that shows you how much time you can make up on entry, but you seem to lose all that back on exit again. Make their way through turn number 1.
DeBarro got there, was tight through that corner.
Now it's just a game of setting yourself up. I mean, this is 4 consecutive right-hand turns. Yazek setting himself up. Greg Evans tried to look to the inside, couldn't make anything happen there, so they'll settle back in line. Jeff Ward in the 89 Finn, I think he has reset back to the pits. I think he's had another incident. Looks like he has for sure. And I'm not exactly sure what led to him jumping out of the car, but we're probably about to find out. Oh, motor blew on that car. And that's because you can hit the radiator pan or the oil pan on the curbs and actually destroy your engine. So for the 89, that was a mistake.
I thought maybe it might have been a downshift.
Could have been a downshift too, entering the braking zone, but either way. Bressie trying to get by Buchanan. They actually have made up ground. Eckrich had a slow lap last time through, and this car still looks just fine. He does have some slight right front damage. That's not something I could have said about Eckrich a whole lot this season. Buchanan's actually managed to keep pretty good. Oh, these guys are going at it. Look at this, Finian through the final chicane.
3 wide here.
Guys,
Hello.
you can't do that.
And they're heading into turn 1. There's Greg Evans looking to the inside of Yazek. Can't get it done. Yazek's going to be side by side with DeBarro. Which
line do you choose here? I mean, if you go left, you're going to be on the outside in the next couple corners. But if you go right, you have a look the inside. He's going to wait, maybe go to the inside of the 55.
Yeah, and Yazek's kind of going to be out here again. Like you said, 4 consecutive right-hand corners. But he's going to charge around the outside, pinch DeBarro down.
This is all for position. These are 5. Oh, no! 93 hard in the fence.
McCushion loops it around, but still they're fighting up ahead as they head off here. This is going to be an interesting section through the S's.
Bressie's gotten back around Buchanan for 2nd as these guys duel for 5th.
Oh, Yazek was able to get ahead. DeBarro had a break, though, not to hit Yazek. Oh, he's going to throw it to the inside.
And he gets the job done. Now it's going to be a drag race. They're scraping the wall.
Oh, and Greg Evans and Hensley get around. Wow, great job.
So Greg Evans moves from 7th to 5th in 1 corner. Now they're all racing down to the chicane once again.
Yeah, this is definitely not over.
think they've settled it for now. I think you're right, and it's not over completely. There's Kohan, who's just settled into 4th.
I would say also these guys battling has allowed them to get to a 6-second lead over this group.
They'll trudge through the chicane now, working lap number 18. So Thomas Bressy's gotten himself clear of Zach Buchanan. Eckridge still continues to be the quickest car on the racetrack, but it seems like sometimes he loses ground, and I think Bressy's still got enough pace to get there if he just could get a couple of clean laps together.
Yeah, honestly, he's done a great job at least keeping with Eckridge, so you gotta give him a pat on the back for that, because even Buchanan too, they've all kept it within 5 seconds and haven't really dropped out of that gap since the drop of the green flag. So
I'd say Zach Buchanan, his car is very squeaky clean, so
yeah.
Other than a slight crumple on it right front, which a lot of drivers have, that car is probably the best looking of anyone out there. I'm concerned with how much brake heat he's got in that car if he's overdriving the tires and will struggle late in the race.
I think the best thing for Buchanan to do, because he doesn't have to worry about any halfway points or anything at this point in the season, honestly, come down before Bressy, because Bressy, I imagine, is going to stay out till lap 28, pick up the points, and then make the trip on down. So Buchanan might be able to undercut him, because, like you said, it's about a 3-second difference right now on the tires.
I'm just curious when we're going to see the first pit stops be made. The only driver who's made a stop so far is John Wilco, who's 3 laps down, and most likely that was for crash damage. Now, DeBarro getting pressure from the 55 of Yazik. DeBarro started in 6th, he's 7th, and now Yazik started in 3rd, has dropped to 8th, so hasn't really gone the right direction. Of course, had that little bit of a spin down in turn number 1, or the chicane, rather, that had kind of thrown him back here. Back up to the front, 4 seconds from Scott Eckridge to Thomas Bressi. That is the gap. Bressy's car has seen better days, but he's still getting speed out of it. Last time was 7/10 quicker than Scott Eckridge, so there's still speed there. And Eckridge isn't really being that consistent either, so he's just being a bit more consistent than the 24 is. So this race certainly isn't over yet. And Buchanan putting pressure on the 24 again. These two are pretty equal right now.
Yeah, you saw Buchanan sideways under braking. This time through, it looks like Bressi was 4/10 slower than Eckridge. So they've been trading blows back and forth, although it looks like Bressi's starting to reel him back in just a little bit at a time.
Barrow and Yazik. Barrow's got some rear end damage. I'm not sure if he's had that for a couple laps or if that's new, but work your way through the... Oh! 55, a big hit there, and that could be trouble for Yazik.
He hit that curb a ton.
there's the meme. He'll continue, but it's not really what you want to be doing. Again, we talked about this a lot tonight. Continue to talk about how violent these hits are to the suspension. He clipped that with the rear post of the chassis right in front of that right front tire, and that's really going to hurt your cause there. So car in pit road, that's McQuistion. That's probably the first of our scheduled pit stops. We're closing in on halfway within about 10 or so, or 5 to 10 laps, so maybe we'll start thinking about when to pit here. Big jump for Bressi this time through. He's closing up to 3.1 seconds over Scott Eckridge. Eckridge is working with lap traffic, and he's getting slowed down pretty significantly.
I was going to say, that's, I think, probably what it was.
Oh, Eckridge almost spins out. He hangs on, though. He hung that car out about 10 feet from the front to the rear, and he lost a bunch of ground doing that. So we got to get a look at a replay of that.
Great car control right there.
He just got to try to get the throttle down a bit too quick, and watch this. Wow. That was pretty wild. That's why I like road course racing, because he couldn't do that on an oval. It could be, probably crash.
But yeah. With the force involved, if you get sideways in an oval, you're gonna pretty much almost crash.
Bressy's reeled him back in from 4 seconds down to 2.4. We have McQuistion and Dalder on pit lane. I think that's all. Falarski's already made a pit stop, but he's a lap down. That car is also pretty torn up. My question is, what are the leaders going to do, and how much are they going to undercut Scott Eckridge? What's Buchanan going to do? Because he's in a unique situation where he's too far back to make it on 1 lap, so it's either he pits 2 laps before the leaders, or he tries to overcut them, potentially.
I think the best thing would be for him to probably undercut. And honestly, he's within range. He could either do by a lap or 2. So I definitely think Buchanan's going to be trying to think about that.
Don't mind me. I have to replace my headphones.
There you see, that's a 92? 93?
Yeah, 92.
92 of Christian Matthews getting out of the way. And yeah, so speaking of which, we only got 10 cars on the lead lap here, and I imagine that number is still going to drop.
Oh yeah, it's going to drop.
As this goes on, next car, got to go a lap down is Thomas George, and that's not, you don't get many times to see that.
No, yeah, that's Thomas George is rarely going a lap down.
Yeah, it's kind of struggle here, and I think we're seeing why he wasn't really entirely looking forward to this race. Hasn't been entirely slow. Has been keeping a decent pace, but he's kind of stuck back in 10th and's got some other competitors in front of him.
So let's take a look at our conditions. They've actually cooled down a bit, which means that the lap times in theory should come up. So we might actually see the best laps of the night turned when they come back after their pit stop. And the quickest lap right now is actually held by Zach Buchanan, a 1:12.166. So put some fresh Goodyears on that thing, he's going to be fast.
Talking about fresh Goodyears, now the delta of the new tires to old right now is about 4 seconds.
Yeah,
that's a very big amount.
It is a big amount.
And I have to imagine probably the reason why we don't see it bigger at other tracks is the fact that the Speedway section again, these are road tires. They're not supposed to be put on such a high load that oval tires are usually put on oval tracks. So that's where we're seeing the wear being so bad.
Well, you note Buchanan misses the chicane. He has to cut it, and he'll have to slow down, give up that time, and that's going to be frustrating for him. He'll lose about 1.5 seconds in that process. But you talk about the tire wear fading. I've never seen it this bad.
Ooh.
Oh, scrapes the wall in turn 1, and you know what? That's a matter of you get yourself slowed down, you throttle back up, and now your braking point. There's really no good braking point down in turn 1. You do it by feel every lap. You just do it by knowing where you are, and that's a certain RPM, that's a certain speed you're looking for.
It depends on how you hit the get through the chicane, because you get through there several different times. You don't get through at the same time twice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty much completely down a field. That you saw that Buchanan with him missing it and messed up his line, after getting a brush with the wall.
Yep. All right, so we have
almost hitting it again.
Actually 2 retirements and a 1 did not start. Jeff Ward, Evan Adams retired. Tim Silliman did not start. We have a couple other cars that have been in pit lane for a couple laps. McQuistion and Dolger have been there in 18th and 19th. They're now 3 laps down. I don't think they're coming back out here. Brian Yazek down pit road for his stop.
Oh,
that car's been destroyed.
Yeah, I think that's probably why he's down on pit road. That car has seen some better days. What on earth happened?
Well, it wasn't this lap, but we'll go back 1 lap maybe and see if we can find out what happened. He's probably had this for quite some time here. Make the assumption. Long time ago, so we'll head back live, and Thomas Bressy's reeled in Scott Eckridge down to 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, I think Eckridge is starting to really fall off a cliff right now on his tires.
Well, look at Bressy's trying a 15.4, which is the quickest lap of anyone in the last lap by over 9 tenths
Eckridge
of
is
a
looking
second.
very slow on this lap in particular, already through the first sector. You can visually see how much Bressy's gaining on him.
Yeah, and we knew that this is going to be Bressy's race to lose, and there's a reason for that, because he's a road racer at nature. I mean, he's really good at racing on road courses. And Scott Eckridge, while he's very good, I wasn't sure if he could maintain the longevity of these tires. We didn't see it really come into effect until we got to the end of this run. We're closing on halfway. It's a one-stopper. You come in, get your tires and fuel, and then you're going to race it out to the end.
15.4 for Bressy last time too, and everyone else is running 16. So
I mentioned that a half a lap ago. Oh, sorry. Eckridge heads down to the chicane now. And he's been probably tiptoeing through here more than he has to be, but Bressy been really aggressive.
Hauling right through there.
He hopped that, but he didn't hit the curbs. But the car's still bunny hopped up in the air, so he's flying through there, but maintaining the front end of that race car right now, which is good. But he's closed in now. 1 second gap between these top 2. You can see a pass for the lead here shortly. I would say, though, that if you're Bressy, I would get to Eckridge and then come to straight to pit road. I don't want to pass him and then give him the options. I'd rather force him to come in on your move.
Yeah, but I imagine both of you guys are going to pit at the same time, probably on lap 29. So it's going to be kind of tough to call here.
He's all over him now. Eckridge has been really off the pace. I wonder if he's got some, he hasn't really hit anything hard enough to warrant engine damage, but it's almost like what it feels to me, Finney. It just seems off the pace a little bit, and maybe we'll see it when we get to the back straightaway if he really is lacking some power. But you can hit a curb and not damage the car visually and still be down on power, so we'll see if that happens here as we get onto the straightaway. Bressy gets in the wall, but no harm, no foul here. There's Thomas George, going to be going a lap down there on the outside. Eckridge's car seems fine here.
Yeah, I think he's just struggling on the tires the way they are right now.
If anybody, I think Bressy's the one that's down on power. Look how much smoother the 24 is through there, and he's going to get a great run. He's going to look to the outside of the 70. If he can hold this line, he'll have a great passing opportunity down into the chicane.
I don't think he's going to have a good line through there. And yeah, he's going to give it to Eckridge for now.
Eckridge jumps the curbs pretty violently over the exit.
Yeah,
24 is just dogging him and forcing him into mistakes already.
Yeah, and I think Eckridge, with the tires the way they are, and I think he's not feeling confident going through the chicane at speed like he was before, and I think that's where he's losing the time.
Contact, a push! from the 24 to the 70. And man, I know Bressie is hungry, but he is showing no signs of backing down right now. He's going to go for it, and I think that means if he has to knock somebody out of the way, he'll go and do it.
Yeah, I think he's trying to give Eckert an indication that he's the faster of these two cars right now.
Our first and second starters are the same way after 26 laps, but I don't think it's going to be like that for too much longer. Bressie understeers a bit through this section, and he really seems to lose the most ground in this portion here, but he gains it pretty much everywhere else.
Yeah, when they come across the line, they're going to have 2 laps till halfway. Actually took that a little bit faster that time through, and I think he's starting to pick up the pace again. I think he's realized he can't back off that much more.
Yeah, Bressie jumped the curves on exit. Didn't seem like he hurt the car, but you do that for 20 laps, you're going to hurt something. So I'm worried about the longevity just physically of the 24 and more about the tires on the 70. How about Tyler Hensley and Anthony DeBarro? They were going at it for a minute, but it looks like Hensley's stolen away 6th place. Just Calvin Filarski in the 39, who's 13th right now, 1 lap down. Slid that car 4-wheel drift through turn 8. I don't want to leave this front lead for too long.
Yeah, it's currently the closest battle on the track right now.
Just delicately balancing your car over the curbs and hitting the apex is just right, but Bressie is just gaining ground everywhere but the back straightaway. I think he is lacking some power in that car. That might be helping. I know at Monaco last year, with Daniel Ricciardo, was missing power because from his MG UK, I believe.
Oh, and a pass for the lead right there.
Well, that's how you do it.
I think Eckert, speaking of power, I think Eckert is struggling to get on it or either hit the wall.
I think he got into the fence. Oh yeah, he gets some help though. Look. Oh, gassed it up. Got loose.
Whoop.
Lost that ground, so Eckert has lost the lead to Bressie. But as I was saying, Daniel Ricciardo, when he lost his power at Monaco, he was actually quicker overall because he wasn't spinning the tires so much. So maybe that's what Bressie is dealing with, but it's good. He's taking the lead. Now this gives Scott Eckert probably the upper hand here a little bit in terms of the pit strategy, but we're closing in. We're a lap from halfway here, and now pit strategy will begin. I think we'll see a lot of people come right down and split this race right in half.
Yeah, but also, again, at the end of this lap, halfway points are going to be awarded. I'm sure Bressie loves the fact that Eckert made a mistake right there because he'll get maximum points from this.
Wow, Eckert is really struggling. You saw him get loose out of turn 4.
Yeah, I'm actually wouldn't be too surprised if Bressie decides to stay out maybe an extra lap.
I think he can afford to, honestly.
Yeah, just to try to put a gap to him.
Put a gap to, I mean, Eckert is going to eat up a lot of that time on the fresh tires, even just for the 1 lap, but I think Bressie's quicker. I just think it's flat out
especially at the end of the run,
yeah.
It seems so.
And right now, the conditions we're seeing on track are what we're going to see on lap number 55.
They're already out to a 2nd lead.
To the chicane now for the 28th time. Eckert is trying to make up time, but he just can't. And I'm honestly a little bit surprised at how this race has shifted in favor of the 24. I thought this 24 was going to win the race until I watched practice and saw the 70, how quick he was. And then it looks like he's just slowly losing pace. And Runkle, there was some contact there, and Runkle car spins out over the curb.
And Eckert's got some damage to his nose as well after that.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where, as a lap car, you have to make a decision of whether to take the corner or whether to get out of the way. And I think Runkle was... it would have been...
I mean, he should have just honestly cut the chicane there.
That was a bad situation, but Eckert makes a bad situation worse for the 70. He's now 2 seconds behind.
And got some nose damage.
Zach Buchanan into pit road. I love this call here.
Not surprised he did that.
See him just chomping at the bit to get that car back in gear and right back out onto the course. I think he was only a couple seconds behind, so he should be right next to the leaders when they come out of their pit stops here in just a couple laps. 40 car back on track.
Now I'm curious when these guys are going to react, if they're going to make a reaction to that, or if they're going to decide to go on their own strategy.
I don't think the 24 has to. I think the 70 might.
I'm actually surprised. Actually, not too surprised. I think we'll probably see both these guys coming down this time through.
Yeah, Greg Evans is into pit lane. Here comes the 24. I think the 70 will follow. He's going to try to make up as much ground as he can. He's really in hot here, Finian. Oh, boy. Yikes. It's 40-mile-an-hour speed limit.
He was playing with fire there.
He was, but he gained a lot of ground. Give him that.
Hopefully he doesn't lose ground with a penalty, because that would be very awful. But Gale Brooks off pace.
Yeah, I think Gale Brooks. Oh man, this is injured. Well, this car was broken already. Zach Buchanan coming to the inside. Was there contact? Nope. Ooh. Buchanan just looked to the inside, and Brooks just could not get that thing to turn and smash that wall. All right, let's head back to the leaders to see how they're going to come out of pit lane. We're expecting to see that 20. Ooh, it's going to be close.
Bressie out. Eckrich also out.
Oh, that was really good stop for Eckrich.
That was the cone.
And right on the exit, where's Zach Buchanan? He's coming on through. He's already got his tires at the temp, but it's not going to be enough ground to see those leaders off in the distance there. So it wasn't enough for Buchanan, but up for the lead. Eckrich all over Bressie, and now they're battling at it again with 25 to go.
Yeah, it's going to be on now because we have to know Eckrich has the pace. Well, both these guys have pace on the initial run here. But Eckrich is pretty much back in fighting form right now on those tires, so Bressie's got to be careful here.
Yeah, I do think that Eckrich is quicker on the fresh tires, and I'm just curious to see if that damage is going to hurt him at all on the straightaway sections. That was where Bressie was lacking before, and that was where he got his biggest advantage. But Bressie gaps him there on exit and has taken off. As we see a lot of the rest of the field coming into pit lane, we're going to focus on the lead for now.
I think right now, this is Bressie's race to lose right now, the way it's sorted out. And honestly, you just have to make sure he doesn't make a mistake.
I think it's a really good time to do a SimTV sound surge. Battle for the lead continues, and Scott Eckrich is all over the back of that 24 of Thomas Bressie.
A little wide there.
And they're both really struggling to keep it tidy and organized, but with coming up on 20 laps to go, I think Bressie's still got a little bit faster of a race car. I think Eckrich's speed is going to bleed off with the laps as they roll on.
Yeah, I think he's really forcing the issue. He's really being abrasive on his tires, and I think he's doing that because he knows he needs to at least try to get back around Bressie. That's going to be taller to do. Christopher Matthews down on pit road.
I think every single car out here has got some right side damage of some sort. Maybe the only one I don't see is with Greg Evans in the 46.
This is actually, I think that car is in pristine condition. We've got a small crinkle on the left front.
Okay. I will say though, remember at the beginning of the night I said that he needs to just have a non-emotional night. Just finish the race. Don't crash yourself out. You'll be fine. He's 4th place right now behind Zach Buchanan.
He's gonna jump a lot of people that's ahead of him right now.
Yeah,
So he's again.
night.
Yeah, again, really just needs to finish where he is and actually move much forward than this.
Well, I was going to say, he's 43 seconds behind Zach Buchanan. That's a Formula One style running.
I was going to say, really all he has to do is keep Mahan behind him, and he's pretty much set. So that's his agenda for the rest of the night.
16 cars still running on the racetrack, and only 7 of them on the lead lap. That is the ROVAL for you. It claims cars left and right. Honestly, they should call this the Monster 2 Mile. I think Dover doesn't deserve the name anymore after having a pretty clean race on Sunday. Or Monday, rather.
This track has really high attrition rates.
Probably the highest of any racetrack I've seen. And even our leader, that car looks like it's been done racing at Martinsville, but it's out here leading the race, still running 1:12.9. So they're already 0.8 of a second down in their best laps. And take a look at this. They've only been out there for 4 laps on these tires.
Felt like eternity, and they're already starting to feel about a half-second fall off.
Wow, Eckridge took a big chunk out of the lead there through that corner, trying to close up on the 24. And he's going to try to apex this late and get a run onto the back straight.
Easy every inch of racetrack.
You know, this is where the 24 struggles. Watch this gap close.
The run he gets is absolutely insane.
Oh man, that was a big jump over the curb for the 70 car, and every time you do that, you risk the suspension, but it looks like that car earlier was a lot cleaner than the 24. Now they're pretty much on par, but lap traffic everywhere. There's the 33 of Rodden as they climb through the final chicane, and right in the path of the leader, Thomas Bresci dives to the inside down in turn number 1. 70's going to follow him through.
Yeah, Eckridge looked like he might have had a look in the inside of Bresci, but yeah, Bresci's going to be careful going through the traffic because it can open up a door of opportunity for the 70.
They're pretty much dead even right now.
And really, again, all it's going to take is one slip-up from one of these two to change the outcome of the race.
Or for both. With the way how close they are right now, if one of them misses the chicane, you get real excited.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what Buchanan wants right now, is he's running in 4.4 seconds behind these guys.
How about Zach Buchanan? This is the race of his season right now in 3rd place. And again, like you mentioned, if those two tangle, he's sitting right in the catbird seat. I still don't know what a catbird seat is, but he's sitting in it. He works his way around lap traffic. Here's a battle for position. Greg Evans and Woody Mahan, 4th and 5th.
Isn't there? It looks like he's got some left side damage that wasn't there before.
Like he does.
Oh, and here comes Mahan to his inside, and they got a lap car ahead of him.
Oh no! Big hit for the 46.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing there because he was offline, and that wall really closes in on him.
Yeah, it looks like he'll be able to continue, but he doesn't need to throw this one away. It's a good result for him so far. Back up front, Eckridge now working around Anthony DeBarro in the 27. He was up to 2/10 behind the 24, so he was right in his bumper for a significant portion of the lap.
Ooh, and loose.
Yeah, I think this is where he's going to start burning his stuff off with 20 laps to go here at the ROVAL. Jump back to that fight between 8 and the 46.
Oh, Evans has got a really good run here.
I think he's going to take a look. Oh, boots the 8 out of the way.
Oh, he's trying to go to the inside, game a chicken down to the backstretch chicane.
He'll take it. The 8's going to back out. Now they work their way through the chicane, and everyone gets through here okay. Brooks off the racetrack, getting tires at least. Seen better days. Thomas Bresci last time through was 0.4 of a second quicker. With 20 laps to go, I want you to make a prediction.
Honestly, I think Bresci's got this. As long as he doesn't make a mistake, I think he's got it. I think Eckridge, again, he's strong on the beginning part of the run, and the more and more laps we take off, the more it's falling to Bresci's hands, and he needs to get around him. If he's going to get around, he needs to get around him now, and he's got a huge run. Yeah,
this is the 70s opportunity here to take a look, but he's going to back out of it now. And Zach Buchanan, I think, Finian, is he in trouble?
Oh, no!
Zach Buchanan's night is over.
That car is junk.
And I know exactly what this happened. Yep.
Oh my god. You keep on this camera.
Here's a look at Zach Buchanan's end of the night here in Charlotte.
Oh man. I feel that's really unfortunate for Buchanan. We had a pretty flawless night, all things considered, right before this.
Look at it again. The leaders had worked their way through. Look at the background, that red and silver car coming towards the screen. This is going to hurt, folks.
Oh.
And into the fence. Oh, that means that first and second are separated by 0.3 of a second, and then third place is now 52 seconds behind. 57 if you're counting from the lead.
I was gonna say also we only the top 5 cars are on the lead lap as of
Oh
now.
no! Eckridge almost spun out there. He somehow hung on to it. That was a crash there, Finian.
Yeah, but
does he have damage?
He got more damage, I think, than there was already.
It's like it's driving straight, but we have to go back and watch that. That was almost disaster for the 70. Oh my god, that's a crash for anybody else. That is amazing. Again, watch this in slow-mo without it glitching out, because, that's a big hit there. Greg Evans and Woody Mahan continue to fight for 3rd place. And Greg Evans, as many issues as he's had tonight, lately, he's actually maintaining that top 5 running order.
I was gonna say also with Buchanan dropping out, that puts him up into 4th place, and now he's gonna be fighting with Mahan for 3rd. But he's gonna be trying to get on the podium here.
All right, let's jump back up to the lead now, and as we watch with 18 laps to go, Bresci leads this race, and that car, honestly, it looks like almost some of that damage has been repaired a little bit. But Eckridge's car definitely looks like it's been through the night at Bristol.
I was gonna say he's got more damage on this run. He's been a lot more sloppy on this run compared to the first one.
I think he's playing defense now. I mean, defense from an offensive position. I think. Hey, work with me here on this one. Because I know that was a DW comment there, but he's being never mind. He's.
I want that frame on while he's playing defensive from an offensive position.
There's the quote of the day. Playing defense from an offensive position. Scott Eckridge. All right. Well, he's in 2nd place. I guess that's another way to say that. Okay, well, Thomas Bresci leads this race 17. We went through a whole lap of laughing.
Yeah.
It's 17 to go now. How about Mahan and Evans still going at it and separated by a 10th still?
Yeah,
Kyle
actually,
Waltrip.
I'm surprised that these guys. I'm surprised that they've been going back and forth. I thought Greg Evans would have been at least ahead of Mahan by a decent amount by now, but Mahan was able to get back around, and Evans is not able to respond.
Okay, so now we're missing. Okay, from 11th on back, everyone's out essentially. We have at the moment. Ton Runkle's still out there putting around, but we have essentially 10 cars running.
And Runkle putting around too. He was running in around 17th, 18th. With all the retirements right now, he's been able to jump up into 11th.
This is why you stay in the fight. How about staying in the fight? Scott Eckridge has reeled in Thomas Bresci for a moment, but he lost it all through the final chicane. 16 laps to go. I don't think we're done here quite yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, Eckridge is still going to be forcing the issue, and he kind of has no other choice. I mean, well, he could back off here. I mean, he's got a solid points lead by 30 points over 2nd place, so if anything, he shouldn't risk anything, but you just got to be careful to make sure not to make a mistake. Same thing with Bresci, too, because this could be a huge points day for him, just getting up, and a nice win to add to his, hopefully growing list.
So much patience required through turn 8 there to get back on the throttle. Now some lap traffic in the way, and could really throw a wrench in things for leader Thomas Bresci, who's been a lot more consistent on this run. As you see them approach here in the chicane. Oh man, Eckridge just threaded the needle.
Yeah, you can hear the tires squealing how much of the load he's putting on the car, and we got some lap traffic up ahead. Hensley and Runkle.
I think that's Runkle, yeah. Oh man, they're really slow through here, and Bresci has to kind of jump out of the throttle here to avoid running into them, and that's let Scott Eckridge get close, but he spins the tires again.
And he's caught him at an awkward time. Hensley trying to get around Runkle as well, but they're going to both move out of the way.
Oh boy, that was close there, but Eckridge really got the best of that situation, and is all over the back of the 24 all over again. So, man, Eckridge he's struggling, but it seems like he's not losing a whole lot of ground, so he's still within striking distance if Bresci gets held up even at all.
And it looks like we got a decent amount of clear racetrack up ahead of them.
So 15 laps to go here, Finian. It's about 17 minutes worth of racing, so we still have a little ways to go, but It looks like Bressy's been quicker and a bit more consistent, but Eckrich is just like that fly that just won't get away from your ear. He keeps swatting at it, and he's just not going anywhere. He's right on the back bumper of this 24 and putting pressure on Bressy, and that's the important thing, is pressure will break you down here at Charlotte. I don't care who you are. And look at this, all over the back bumper, getting out of the mirror, now getting right back into it as they head through the bus stop, and that's all you need to get in a driver's head here.
Wow, and look how much of a run he's got. He's going to look to the outside. He's going to run here. Will they be side by side?
Yeah, they're going to be, but and remember, Bressy's down on power a bit, I think, and they're going to come to the chicane. Who's going to back out of this one?
Oh, Eckrich is going to give it a lunge here. He's going to have a better line.
Side by side, or the lead. Bressy hangs on. There's some contact. They both pounce off the wall, and Bressy's going to hang on to the lead, but an aggressive move there by Eckrich just couldn't complete the job.
Yeah, that was Eckrich's best opportunity on the second run to try to get the lead and just couldn't pull the move off.
Well, we know that he's still here, I can tell you that, and that just worried Bressy a little bit. I think after the pit stop, he thought he was going to drive away from the 70. He hasn't done that. He's been more consistent, perhaps, but when you have a driver come up alongside of you like that, that's a, hello, I'm still here. Don't forget about me. And that's just gets in your head so much with this few laps to go. Meanwhile, Woody Hahn sitting in third.
Yeah, he's been able to gap Evans by quite a bit. I think Evans is just kind of backing off, just preserving the car.
Like Evans in fourth.
Whoa, oh, no! Just as I say that.
Oh, and that's going to hurt a lot.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to continue on. He's got 17 seconds of a gap back to Tyler Hensley in fifth.
Well, that's pretty amazing considering how hard he hit, but
yeah.
I can't imagine it's going to be great for the longevity of the suspension.
At least it looks like he's able to continue on. He's just got to survive now for the next 14 laps.
And there's the leaders. And will they lap the entire field? I think they might.
Well,
no, they're definitely going to lap the
They're definitely going to catch up to Evans. Mahan, I'm not entirely sure about. It might be close.
It's only 15 seconds. That's going to be close. You're right. Leaders, this has been a fantastic battle, though, for the entirety of this race. Bressy and Eckrich just not a second apart most of the night. And for the entire first half of the race, it was Eckrich that was the one out front leading the laps, but now Bressy, as expected, has taken over, but Eckrich has not gone away.
Yeah, Bressy's been doing a great job right now, just hitting, having a consistent run. I don't think he's made one mistake on this, on the second stint. Eckrich, on the other hand, has been really forcing the car.
Well, and Bressy honestly did a great job holding on to that spot when Eckrich challenged him for the lead in the chicane. He could have rolled over and let him on by, but he didn't. He chose to be aggressive as well and keep him behind him, and that has done wonders. I think Eckrich would be able to hold off the 24 just as the 24 is doing to the 70 if the 70 could get the better position. So it's really important for this 24 to hang on to this spot. I think passing is difficult, especially once you get down on old tires. Chicane, Eckrich, hard on the brakes. Misses the apex there a bit, though, and climbs up the curb on exit. And lost a lot of ground there.
It kind of looks like Eckrich is starting to struggle just a little bit. 12
to go. Big gaps between everyone on the track except for the top two.
And Evans also seems to be pretty off pace with that damage. 119 last time through.
Yeah, that car is not going to be handling very good. Well, he's got 10 seconds between him and Hensley.
Yeah, and Hensley and even DeBarro too behind, I think, is going to catch him before this race over. So we might see Evans drop back to 6, which is definitely not bad. Still a decent night for the 46, but I think it could have been a lot better.
Well, we might have a night where even, the podium might finish on the lead lap and everyone else will be a lap down. I feel like it's 1975 again or something. But this has just been a tough one for the majority of the field, but that just goes to show you how much faster the 24 and 70 are.
And I find it absolutely amazing the fact that they're not separated by a few seconds. They're within a second of each other, and the next car is 60 seconds back.
Big, kind of an ugly bunny hop there for the 70 on the exit of the chicane. I think this is where, in the previous run, Eckrich started to kind of falter.
Yeah, I mean, even looking through the way he's gone through some of the turns, it looks like he's started to lose some of the grip compared to Bressy.
Last time through was a 0.3 of a second difference, the advantage to the 24. I'm sure he's really excited in that car right now. I think you're starting to, you can be laser focused, you can be excited. I think he's a bit of both. I mean, he's had a great season, but I think he's been disappointed that he hasn't been to victory lane. I know for a fact this one was circled on his calendar as probably his best opportunity to win one. And as when Sky Eckrich won the pole, he probably got a bit discouraged, and now that we're 11 laps to go in this race, lap 45 of 55. I think he's a bit more excited about how things might turn out tonight. Anthony Navarro in the 27. He almost missed the fuel finals because of a penalty. Managed to scrape his way back.
Yeah, remember, he even started off the finals with a points deficit.
Yeah. And he managed to scrape his way back in and survive at Rockingham, at least well enough to move on. And with Nick Kohan, the one that will officially be eliminated at the end of this night, he'll be out of the finals, and DeBarra will continue another week. But I'm just curious where that cut line is going to land for next week. So things kind of tossed up in the air here.
I think depending on if it's going to be Silman or DeBarra being axed, or sorry, not DeBarra, Silman or Kohan being axed, I think it's going to be one of those two guys going.
I did receive confirmation it will be the 21.
Okay, but with Silman finishing effectively dead last, I don't even know if he's going to get points this race. He's going to be at the back back of the pack, so he's going to have to be trying to get himself out of that position next week.
0.8 of a second separate the top two, and last time through, Eckrich was actually a tick quicker. I think now that he's backed off of Bresci a bit, I think he's focusing more on his line, and he's been able to run quicker laps. So I think he just needs to kind of refocus his energy. He's still got the pace to get there. I just think he needs the focus to do it. 10 to go.
And they're about 10 or 7 seconds away from Woody Mahan. Oh. Whoa! I think they actually might be able to lap the field here.
Yeah, that would be really impressive.
I think actually that's Mahan there on the front straightaway.
Yes, it is. So climbing through the the final chicane, and Bresci got some looseness there out of the final corner, and Eckrich scrapes the fence. Done that a couple times the last few laps. Greg Evans slow, and I think that car has probably reached the end of its lifespan here. Well, it's going to be an okay result regardless because of how many people have had trouble tonight. Yep, motor just blew. I think that was curb contact that overdid that one. So the 46 of Greg Evans is going to be a retirement. He'll be done for the night. The farthest he's going to drop back, though, is 14th, which really isn't that bad of a night considering how many other people had trouble. The leader's still separated by 0.7 of a second. Greg Evans is going to drop down the order. That's going to give it to DeBarra and put him solidly inside the top 5 with a pretty large gap back to 6th. Will end up being Casey Shue. Still the closest battle is for this top spot with 9 coming to 8 laps to go.
And the rest went through had a little bit of a messy run through the chicane there.
Lap traffic to deal with as well.
Thomas George is going to go another lap down.
Yeah, they're definitely going to lap Woody Mahan.
Whoa, Bresci loose. Whoa. He went through there hard. He went there through
I
his
still have
sliding.
to play that what you just said on slow motion. Whoa, Bresci loose!
Because I saw him charge in there, I think, trying to get ahead of Thomas George, and the back end came around, and that's allowed Eckrich to catch back up. And Eckrich,
no! He hangs on. But he is just flirting with fire, and now he's going to be dropping about 1.5 seconds back from Thomas Bresci after that.
Oh, and Bresci ran wide there.
Not
a strong lap for these two.
No. They don't need to be strong, Finney. They're 1 minute and 8 seconds ahead of the third place driver.
Yeah, 5 seconds. They're 5 seconds behind him.
Well, I think we know who's good at road courses. We've only been to one other one this season, Monza.
Yes.
And Eckrich won that race. It was a battle between these two. And Eckrich won that battle. That was when you had your wisdom teeth out.
Never mind, that was a very painful week. Very painful few weeks. It lasted. Oh, Bresci loose some legs.
Do you want to try that again? Oh, Bresci loose. My goodness.
So much
Eckrich in the wall. Oh, gosh. Between my defensive offense and your Bresci loose, this is just turning into a memeable race. This is not a good thing. Eckrich, we're now 7/10 back. He's clawed his way back. He actually ran a quicker lap than Bresci did after spinning out.
I was considering Bresci almost spun out twice as well. It's not been a strong lap for the 24, although looks to be a better lap so far.
7 laps to go, about 8 minutes remaining in this race, so if you're sitting here now, don't go anywhere. This race has been so unpredictable. We've had a bunch of our finals drivers hit the wall, hit the curbs, hit everything but the lottery tonight. And Eckrich now trying to chase down Thomas Bressi. They're closing in and lapping Woody Mahan. And Mahan is right up the road here, so they are closing in. There they are, and now cue the Jaws music as the 2 leaders come to lap everybody but themselves. Oh no! Oh no! Bressi loses the lead in the chicane.
Oh, and that's
big.
I thought he might have had some handling issues there, but yeah, that's a big upset right there compared to what it was looking like. And again, I said Bressi had to make sure he didn't make a mistake. He made a mistake right there.
Now here's the thing: he's got to be careful. He's got a quicker car. He just needs to put his head back on, screw it back down, go up and get Scott Eckrich. Was a mistake. Don't compound it. He's loose in turn 1. Don't compound your mistakes. You'll lose the race.
Now, what I'm curious is, does Eckrich have more of a car to gap the 24, or has he been saving him behind him?
Don't compound your mistakes. I think that's Thomas Bressi's biggest foe right now, is messing his own race up. He doesn't need to push that hard. There's 5 laps to go. You're quicker than the 70. Don't let your own head get in your own way. Scott Eckrich just took that lead away, but I just don't know if he's got the consistency and the pace to do it. He's been as good as the 24, but not better, at least in the latter half of the race.
And they're catching up on Woody Mahan right here and about to put him a lap down.
And interestingly, I think the 8 car is going to back off and let the 24 on through, so good call there for the Woody. And now the entire field is officially a lap down other than the top 2 drivers. So they're literally the only ones left in this race. It's a 1.1 second gap. And how much is that 24 hurt?
Seems to be a decent amount at the moment.
Big bunny hop there for the 70. Is that a slowdown? It often is when you cut it that much, but he got away with it.
Yeah, so Bressi hasn't really been able to close in that much. We'll see now that he's got it collected a little bit if he can try to reel him back in.
5 laps to go. How much is that car hurting? I think a lot of it. He was down on straightaway speed prior to that jump there. And we know how much the curbs will impact your straightaway speed if they hit any part of the motor on the underside.
And also, too, doesn't know that Bressi's pretty much on defense for most of that run. Now he's put back on the offensive.
Thank you for getting it straight for me. Okay, so Bressi gained on the infield. I think he's going to lose a big chunk when we get back to the straightaway here. And he's going to have to be pushing hard, but let's just watch. Look at Eckrich pulling away.
Yeah, already a second in and still not got down to braking.
Lost 3/10, and nope, there it is. And that's going to be it for the 24 Bressi. And I think it's so frustrating. To compound your own mistakes. I mean, he lost that race for himself, Finian, and I think he knows that. And that's the most frustrating thing.
So on the bright side, though, can't really do too much worse than this.
No, as long as he finishes.
Yeah, so...
I don't know if he wants to at this point.
Well, I think he wants it just to be over with right now, but yeah, tough break for the 24.
Unfortunately, there's nobody to blame but yourself. I mean, the same mistake.
I'm amazed that he didn't roll over there.
Yeah. And Scott Eckrich was not the quickest car tonight, but he made probably more mistakes than the 24, just less severe. And now all he's got to do is coast at home.
Yeah, but there's pretty much nothing to worry about at this point. The rest of the car is very torn up.
So, Scott Eckrich is going to probably win another one. It'll be his 8th win of the season.
Yep. That'll be it's a very anticlimactic end to this race compared to how I was looking.
We still have 6 or 7 rounds to go, and last year we had 9 wins by Greg Evans, and if Eckrich wins one more, he'll tie that record.
He'll be at 8.
Yeah, I'm saying if he wins one more.
Oh, okay. After this.
I mean, there's still some lap traffic up here, but I think now it's you really have to be stupid to throw this one away. I mean, you don't push. There's no reason to push. You have an 8-second lead. Bressy's about 3 seconds off the pace now. Just coast at home.
Yeah, I think because Bressy knows at this point there's no point in pushing the issue here, and I think even Eckrich knows too. So it's just a matter of getting to the finish here, getting through these next 3 laps.
I just hate that for Bressi so much. We talked about how he had this one circle on his calendar, and he came out here and he performed and did everything he needed to do. And I think Eli Eckert's getting his head just a bit too much. Thomas George in the 9. That car
Whoa,
is...
what on earth happened to him?
Well, it's destroyed. I don't know how long he's been down in the pit lane for. It's probably been for a while. Been there for... Oh, there, found it. And this is just... Ooh.
Oh.
But... your typical... This is your typical chicane crash here. Climb the curb. That was clumsy.
Yeah, climb the first curb, and once you do that, it never was not going to make the exit. I'm curious as to what position he was running in when this happened, but yeah.
He wasn't really much farther forward than this. Oh, that's a big hit there for the 9. Back out on course. He'll still probably finish inside the top 10.
Yeah, he'll finish in 9th. He's got really no opposition in front of him or behind him.
Well, I'll give the 00 Don Runkle some credit. He's got that Mission 22
Yeah, he's
on
going
the
to
hood,
get a top 10.
and he's getting a top 10 after driving this thing around pretty much all night long. So, A, for effort, with that Mission 22 on the side of that car, of course, helping veterans all over the country, and check out their website and their phone number, which is on the back of the race car. It's 615, and we'll wait a second until it rotates back around.
Can you actually still see it?
645, 645.
Wait, yeah, here's a good shot.
2451. There's your number. Now it's a 10-second lead for Scott Eckrich, and if you just joined and you'd be thinking, wow, Scott Eckrich dominated this race, well, you'd be wrong. He led the first half of the race, you're right about that, but the second half, it was all Thomas Bressi, and 2 compounded mistakes in the chicane with about 10 laps to go, and thrown that race away for the 24. Now all he's going to be able to do is ride home in second place. So Scott Eckrich has won 7 races this season. He's been dominant. He's also on probation, Finian. So if there's been some sketchy moments throughout the season, he's gotten a lot of people mad at him for all sorts of different reasons. But you can't be mad at his talent and his ability to just win pretty much everything on every kind of racetrack. He's won at short tracks. He's won at speedways. And he might add himself to the list on the road course winner. Actually, he already has this season. He won Monza. I forgot about that. So he's about ready to sweep the road course's white flag in the air here at Charlotte.
Yeah, and again, just fantastic race out of the 70 car. Good first stint. Second stint wasn't the fastest, but definitely stayed in there. Was in the second of Bressi the entire run. Almost made a pass on him and was able, and being so close, he's able to pounce on a mistake that Bressi made himself. And
I think he was the reason why Bressi made that mistake.
Yeah.
If he'd not been there, I think Bressi would have been taking it slow and easy like Eckrich is now. But the fact that he put pressure on the 24 and made him make that mistake is probably what won him this race. So he's got a half a lap left, and he's got to just do that chicane one more time. And I'm sure everyone is sick of seeing that thing anyway. And they'll be hightailing it out of here as soon as they collect their trophy and go home. One final time. And this will be the first race on SimTV that I can remember where only 2 cars finished on the lead lap. And I can't say I'm surprised that it's at a track like the ROVAL.
It's something out of the 1970s.
Well, he's making his way through the final couple of corners and heading towards that last chicane, but it's been a Cinderella season for Scott Eckrich, driving the number 70 Chevrolet Camaro. He won at Monza earlier in the season. After a wild race here tonight at the Charlotte ROVAL, Scott Eckrich comes through the final corner, and he'll pick up his 8th checkered flag of the season. We're losing count. So many. And sometime later today, Thomas Bressi's going to come on through with that battered number 24. And they're just probably going to take this one back to the shop and just dismantle it and burn it probably and throw it away. 24 finishes second, but that's going to feel like dead last to him. Yeah,
and we would go through everyone else finishing, although I think a lot of people have already come through the finish line.
Well, yeah, there was only 2 cars in the lead lap, so that is really it. But Scott Eckrich, again, picking up a victory for the 8th time this season. And he'll head back around and do burnouts, and he's gotten real good at them.
I mean, look at that car, too. I mean, that does not look like a car that won out of road course. It looks like it finished 10th, if anything.
Did he win at Rockingham last week, too? Pretty sure he did. Double check on that. Comes on through. Down the back straightaway, and again, wasn't the quickest car tonight, but was as quick as Thomas Bressi, and that's all he needed to do. And Eckrich...
So he's 3rd one in a row.
Yeah, okay, so he's just winning them all. All right, sweet. Well, that's one heck of a way to start off the playoffs. The Fuel Finals here in the Fuel HostVenom Cup Series. He'll come on through and collect the checkered flag and a trophy. Scott Eckrich, you're a winner here at the ROVAL. All right, so we just looked up some stats about Scott Eckrich's season. We mentioned how good it was. Well, he's out of his previous 7 starts, he's won all of them except one.
And that race finished 3rd.
Oh, the motor just blew, so I don't think he's going to do any more winning today. But we're going to jump to break real quick. We'll be right back after we take a quick look at your results. Of course, Eckrich, Bresci, and everyone else a lap or more down. But again, Tim Silliman will be awarded 23rd place points tonight, Finian, but he's going to be on the cut line as we head into next week. So that 6 car in trouble as we head there. Don Runkle Jr. is also going to be probably on the cut line as well in that 0-0, but a top 10 for him tonight. He held on. He did a pretty good job finishing this race with a pretty damaged car. Yeah,
honestly, I mean, that's really the name of the game for him to do. So he's good. He's already got a good solid amount of points on Tim Silliman. I think it's going to really be between those two guys going into next week.
All right, we'll look through the results one final time before we jump to break and grab Scott Eckrich and Bresci and a couple others to talk to. It's been kind of a while. We had a great race up front. I think the rest of the field was strung out by lap 30, but those top 2 were going at it the entire night. Again, Bresci's mistakes compounded, lost in that race. We'll jump to break. Be right back with you in just a second. Stay with us. Welcome back live here to SimTV. We're going to be talking now with Woody Mahan, who finished 3rd in the number 8 car. And after a pretty wild race, Woody's going to finish in that 3rd spot, 1 lap down. Woody, it was a great race for you, a 3rd place finish, but 1 lap down. So kind of a crazy night all around, but you managed to survive and pretty much keep the fenders on that car. Where'd he go? He's gone. Well, he just left. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Want to talk to you?
Oh, right. Okay, well, I guess we'll talk to Bresci then. We'll pull in Bresci and chat with him. Hey, Thomas Bresci, it's Kyle from SimTV. I know that tonight was not the result that you wanted, but you had speed, and is that any kind of consolation after finishing like that?
Nah, not really. That was pretty stupid. So, just threw it away.
As we look forward to the rest of the finals, it's been still a good season for you, and obviously it's not a victory, but a second's still good for you in the point standings. As we head to the next couple races, are there any other tracks you have circled on your calendar that you have the potential to win at?
I think Martinsville's on there, and I like that place, but I've had kind of hit or miss luck there, so I guess we'll see, but it would have been nice to actually win. I'm making you look like an idiot, because every time we come to one of these road courses, and you say I'm the favorite, and I suck, so I'm trying to help you out there, but didn't really do a good job with that tonight.
Well, to be fair, you did lead like half the race, so I was pretty confident.
Not the part that mattered, though.
Yeah,
that's the unfortunate bit. But
yeah. All right, well, we won't let you stew on it too long. I know it's a second place ain't too shabby, but not the victory you were looking for, Thomas. Thanks for talking to us, and better luck next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right, now we'll talk to Scott Eckrich, driving the number 70 car. Scott, your 8th win of the season. To some, that's no surprise, but I think tonight it was a bit more of a surprise considering Thomas Bresci gave you a run for your money, but he compounded his own mistakes in the closing laps, and you ended up pulling away with another victory after lapping the entire field minus that number 24. Talk to us about your night.
Yeah, I thought we should have been pretty strong here, and, did the normal, kind of went out, and I could notice I was losing a bunch of time through that bus stop, and I just couldn't figure out what angle to go through it, and I was just too scared. And when Bresci finally got behind, by us there towards the end of that first run, I could kind of see what he was doing, and I was slowly trying to learn, slowly trying to save more, and and just kind of put him in the position that he put me in the run before there.
You've won 3 consecutive races and 6 of your last 7 starts, so it's clear that winning is your favorite thing, and you keep doing that. I'm sure you're loving to indulge in that. But now we head next week back to the same racetrack, but on the oval for the All-Star race. A nice break from the points racing. What are you looking forward to about next week, and how do you plan to attack that one?
Yeah, All-Star races are usually kind of a crap show, so I don't traditionally do well at the big oval here. Just not my style track. And this new package, though, it'll be, quite the mystery as it always seems like it's going to be. So All-Star race will be fun, just kind of unwind, and hopefully everybody can have some fun. And then we got to, get serious again at the same track the week after.
All right, Scott, well, 8th victory of the season. You're getting real good at those burnouts, by the way. I got to commend you on those. But thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you next week at the All-Star race, and then the following week again back here at Charlotte to complete a month of May at this great racetrack. Thanks for talking to us. Congrats on another win, and we'll see you later.
Thank you, guys.
Now we're going to talk to third place finisher Woody Mahan, who finished in third of the number 8 car. Woody, we were trying to talk to you earlier, but now we have you back in here. A third place result, a lap down, but kept the fenders on the thing. How was it out there? It looked pretty crazy.
Well, the first 4 laps, I just ruined the car, and any chance I had of, not going a lap down, once I wrecked the car pretty good, I was like, do not go lap down, and I couldn't hold them off. It was, I'm sweating right now, to be honest with you. I'm tired.
I mean, when you look at the rest of the field, I mean, obviously you went a lap down, but so did everybody else. I mean, other than the top 2. So that's got to be a pretty successful night regardless. I mean, a good points night for you in that number 8. So are you looking at this as a success, or are you still upset that you were a lap down?
I can't be upset when I'm standing on the podium with my teammate. So I'm going to say this was an 8 out of 10. That's what I'm going to say.
It was very conveniently with the number 8 on the side of that car, Woody. Congratulations on a great finish. But we head to the All-Star race next week. That's going to be a fun one. I'm not sure what the criteria is for the All-Star race, Finian. Are you aware? I'm not really sure.
I have to check.
But I imagine the way Woody you've been running, I'm sure you're in there. But what are you looking forward to about the Oval for 2 weeks in a row, the upcoming weeks?
I'm actually, I haven't raced it since they put the new build on since the Oval, so I'm pretty excited. I really think that the package that we're running, as little fun as people may say it is, I mean, it actually kind of suits me. So we're just going to put the hammer down and let's go.
All right, Woody. Well, thanks for talking to us. Congrats on a solid finish tonight on the podium with the teammate. Good to see you up here, Woody. We'll talk to you later.
Hey, you guys, take it easy.
All right, have a good night. That'll do it for interviews here tonight, Finian. What a race we saw from really third on back. There was some racing here and there, especially in the midfield around DeBarro and Hensley and the 46 of Greg Evans. But the top 2 lapped the field. Eckrich wins his 8th win of the season. And we got 2 more weeks of Charlotte coming up, this time on the Oval.
Yeah, and also I've been looking at his stats, and there's some really interesting stuff in here. So his average finish is also really good too. His average starting is 2.9.
Okay.
His average finish is 4.27, and in his last, his last 10 starts, he's not started worse than 4th.
That's not too shabby, is it? Actually, I don't even know if are we even scheduled to broadcast the All-Star race?
I think we are. I have it listed. So okay, I'm pretty sure we are.
I thought I could have sworn there was a couple races that we weren't supposed to. I know Auto Club was, or no, was it Auto Club? Or no, is it? What was the one that we weren't?
Oh no, Auto Club we didn't.
We didn't do Auto Club.
We didn't do Auto Club.
I just don't know. Okay, we'll check on that later. But we expect to be back here next week, next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're off tomorrow, but Thursday we'll be back with Scars Ferrari Challenge action from Mid-Ohio. Friday is VRL, and I don't even know where VRL is next week. Oh, they're at Dega. And then ORL is at ISM Raceway, where we were last night with the Race Kings Cup Series for 3 wide. That was a crazy one. And then next Sunday and Monday, we'll be at Bristol and Chicagoland, respectively. So that's what's coming up the next couple days.
Sorry, Bristol, we're off for...
Oh, we have a couple weeks off. Correct. Thank you. It'll just be Monday next week for 3 wide at Chicago. So that'll do it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. And if you just joined in late, go ahead and watch that battle with about 15 to 20 laps to go. Some incredible action with those top 2 guys. But Eckrich gets another one. 8 wins on the season. Congratulations to Scott, and we'll see him next week.